Welcome back. In this video, we'll finish up getting our ball to move across the screen and then also get the collisions working, I hope. And that really should get the game completed. So we started to create our definition for move ball. Now we're going to access all these variables here, ball X, ball Y, and then also the directions. So dBH, the direction of the ball horizontal, and dBV, the direction of the ball vertical. Okay, so we need to modify those variables as we go here. So if the ball is heading to the left, so if the ball is heading to, whoops, and let's make this equals, left, what's going to be happening to its x position? Well, if it's heading to the left, so it's going from right to left, the number is going to be going down. Its x position is going to be going down. So what we'll do here is we'll be ball x is going to be minus equal to 10. Okay. And if the ball is going down, dBV, so the direction of the ball, vertical, is equal to down. Same idea, but right, the ball's going down, so the number is actually getting bigger. So the ball y is going to be plus equals 10. Okay, so the ball heading, whoops, get rid of that. So the ball is heading down, so it's getting more, the y value is increasing. All right, so we've got that. Now, if the ball gets too low, okay, so I'm going to press enter here and keep this under it. So if the ball y is greater than 490, we're going to bounce it up. We're going to change its direction. So we're going to say the dBV is going to be switched to up. Okay, so we'll do that. Now, sort of the same idea here. I have to go over here. If dBV, the direction of the ball vertical, is equal to up, we're going to move it up. So ball y, remember going up is going to be heading it closer to 0. So minus equals 10. And we have to make a little check here, right? If the ball y is less than 10, we have to change the direction, because again, if it gets to 0, it's going to be at the top of the screen, right? It's going to be here. We need to get it going down. So then dBV is going to be down. Okay, good. Now, the only other thing we have to put in here is, I guess we could have put it near the top there, but if dBH is equal to right, so we're moving from left to right, so the value of the x is getting greater. Therefore, ball x is plus equals 10. So this should move the ball, and we can actually see this. So I think that's good. If I come down here, so we drew the ball, just like we did before. I'm going to move the ball first. So move ball. Now we do need the x and y value. So ball x, ball y. Let's just take a look here. I think it should run. And it should run to the left to right to start with. And you can see it going down here. Okay, now hard to see exactly. I always forget. I think I'm going to lower the tick. So do it 10. Let's just see. Yeah, we can see it going down. And a little bit we saw it bouncing back up. So yeah, the ball was doing that. Let me just try one thing here. I'm going to stop the horizontal movement. So I'm going to set these 0 and 0. You don't have to do this on yours, but what I'm just going to do is make sure that we don't have any horizontal movement for a second. And theoretically, this ball should bounce vertically up and down. You can see it there, bouncing up and down. We'll just wait till it goes up to the top, and so on. So it looks pretty realistic, okay? And all we're doing is changing its y value, in this case, left and right, okay, sorry, up and down, between sort of 0 and 490, or in this case, I guess, 10 and 490. All right, so the ball gives this idea that it's bouncing. Really what we're doing is just changing the position, redrawing it, and then blanking the screen so we can't see in between. Interestingly, if I turn the screen fill black off, so I'm just going to comment that out and stop it, what you'll notice is that you get all the balls, right, in there. We don't redraw the screen, so you get this kind of odd appearance, right? Like you can see the paddles too. And that's just because we didn't redraw the screen or fill it with black to sort of clear the screen in a way. We're just putting picture on picture there. Okay, good. Now, the last little bit, and there's lots going on here. This is the most challenging script, or sorry, well, part of the script, I guess. The most challenging function here is detecting the collision. We want the ball to move, if it hits the paddle, move left or right, depending on which paddle it hits. And then if it doesn't hit the paddle, we want to score some points. So what I'm going to do is define the collision function. And we won't take any parameters here, but we're going to use a bunch of global variables. So bear with me here, because we need to know a lot. We need to know player 1's X position and player 1's Y position. We need to know, I'm just going to copy this, same thing for player 2. So make sure you change those. Same thing with the ball, right? We need to know the ball's X position and the ball's Y position. Last thing, we need to know, well, two things, sorry. DBH, the direction of the ball in the horizontal. We don't have to worry about vertical because the paddles, it will collide with the bottom and the top, not with the paddles. So we don't have to really worry about the bottom up and down. That will be taken care of with our move function above. And the last thing is because we're going to update the score. So score player 1, score player 2. Okay, so we've got all our variables here. Now what we want to do is put a little bit of code in. So if the direction of the ball horizontal is equal to left, what's going to happen? Well, one or two things. So at a certain point, it will either hit the paddle or it won't. So we have to kind of figure out where the player paddles is, okay? So if the ball, and we don't have to worry about this until the ball is almost at the far end. So if it's going to the left, if the ball's X position, sorry, my fingers are always off on the wrong key here, is less than 10. So we don't have to worry about this usually until the ball gets close to the left side. If that's the case, and if ball Y is greater than or equal to, player 1Y, and ball Y's position is less than player 1Y plus 50. Now, I'll explain this in a little bit here. If that happens, the DBH is going to be sent to the right. Okay. So if we take a look at this here, and sort of, now it's not going to run properly. Okay, whoops, and I got to change the ball so that it's going the right direction. But if you can imagine the ball's coming over here, okay, as it gets close, we only have to worry about detecting a collision when it gets over here. The ball's Y position is going to basically, if it's going to hit the paddle, it's going to be here or 50 down, okay? So somewhere in this range from basically the top of the paddle on the way down. And that's why we have this here. So when we've got the player's 1Y, it's right at the top. So we have to say, okay, it's either here or somewhere down here. And we've done plus because remember, as we go down, the Y value increases. Okay. Now, if it's the case where this hasn't, right? This is not true. Okay, so there is no paddle there, basically. Let's just stop this. We have to put in the else here. So else, what's going to happen? Well, we're going to do a couple things. So just bear with me here again. Pygame.draw.ellipse. And we could actually copy this from before, I guess. Screen. The only thing is we're going to hide the ball, make it black. And then in our tuple here, ball X, ball Y. Let me just move this over. And then the size of the ball. So we had 10 and 10. 10 and 10. This is just to sort of cover up the ball. We just make it black here. We're going to update the screen. Oops, display.update. That is, again, just really to hide the ball so it doesn't go through the paddle. That's basically what we're doing here. We're going to set the ball back to its center. And we can set both values, the X and Y value, and we'll set those to be 250, 250, back to where it started from. And what we'll do is if this passed player 2 paddle, we'll put score player 2 and whatever. I'm going to give them 10 points. Okay. The last thing that we'll do is we'll update the score here. So I'm going to come back up because we did this right at the, where did we do that? Right at the beginning here. I'm going to take this and just paste it in there. So Control C and there. So we just need to update the score. Okay, and I think we're okay. Yep, that goes over there. We're good. Okay, so that is the movement here. Now we can run this. Let me just and then we'll finish it up on the last video. Let me just make sure on my ball move that I set this back to 10 because I set those off. There we go. And if I run this, so you see the ball moving down. Now the ball, unfortunately, is just going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to stop this and even set this slower. So maybe to like 5. I always find it goes too fast here. Okay. Oops, and I was too slow to get this down. It doesn't help. The whole game actually slows down. So let me try this again. So I have to click into here first. Okay, so then I could actually get there. Now it seemed to have gone right through it. I thought it would bounce off. DBH right. Oh, you know what I haven't done though? I haven't run the collision. So let's put that right in here. And so on my thing, I'm going to put the collision right here after the ball. I didn't call the function, so none of that code worked. Okay, let's do this. Run. Okay, now I don't have any ball. And I'll have to just pause it here. Player 2 is getting a lot of points there. Maybe I was just slow there. Let's just see. We do have a problem right away. So let's just pause it here. We'll come back. We'll finish up the collision. I think that may be the reason I just haven't finished the collision function, but I'll take a look at that and we'll wrap up the game there.